Which Holy Grail is the real one? A journey through myth, history, and mystery. The Holy Grail stands as one of history's most enduring enigmas, a symbol of divine mystery, spiritual yearning, and human obsession. From medieval romances to modern blockbusters, the quest for the Grail has captivated imaginations across centuries. Yet despite its ubiquity in art, literature, and popular culture, the question remains, which Holy Grail is the real one? To answer this, we must traverse a labyrinth of religious history, archaeological discoveries, esoteric traditions, and speculative theories. This article explores the origins of the Grail legend, its evolution through time, and the myriad claims to its authenticity, ultimately asking whether the Grail is a tangible relic or an eternal metaphor. In the origins of the Grail legend, from scripture to medieval romance, the roots of the Holy Grail lie not in the Bible, but in the fertile imagination of medieval Europe. While the New Testament describes Jesus using a cup during the Last Supper, Luke 22:20, the term Grail in Old French, did not appear in Christian tradition until the 12th century. The first known literary reference comes from Chrétien de Troyes, a French poet at the court of Countess Marie de Champagne. In his unfinished romance, Percival, the story of the Grail, c. 1180, Chrétien depicts a mysterious grail carried in a procession, accompanied by a bleeding lance and a severed head. This object, described as a wide, deep vessel, provides sustenance to the Fisher King, whose wound symbolizes the decay of his kingdom. Chrétien's work sparked a flood of Grail narratives, each adding layers to the myth. Robert de Boron, writing around 1200, linked the Grail directly to the Last Supper in his poem Joseph d'Arimathie. Here, the Grail becomes the cup used by Christ, later entrusted to Joseph of Arimathea, who catches Christ's blood in it after the crucifixion. This fusion of biblical imagery with Arthurian chivalry cemented the Grail's role as a sacred relic, guarded by a secretive lineage of Grail kings. By the early 13th century, the Vulgate cycle, a series of prose romances, expanded the legend further. The Grail became a symbol of divine grace, accessible only to knights pure in heart. Galahad, a paragon of virtue, ultimately achieves the Grail vision, while others like Lancelot fail due to their moral flaws. These tales blended Christian mysticism with courtly ideals, transforming the Grail into both a physical object and a spiritual metaphor. Turned, the Grail in religious and esoteric traditions. While medieval romances shaped the Grail's popular image, its deeper significance lies in religious and esoteric thought. Some scholars argue that the Grail myth absorbed pre-Christian motifs, such as the Celtic cauldron of plenty or the Greco-Roman cornucopia. Others link it to Gnostic or Cathar beliefs, which emphasized hidden knowledge, gnosis, and rejected material wealth. The Catholic Church, however, co-opted the Grail narrative to reinforce Orthodox theology. The Eucharistic connection, where the Grail represents the wine of the Mass, became central. In 1215, the Fourth Lateran Council formalized the doctrine of transubstantiation, asserting that the communion wine becomes Christ's literal blood. This theological shift aligned neatly with the Grail's growing association with the blood of Christ, blurring the line between legend and dogma. Esoteric traditions took the Grail in stranger directions. The 19th century occultist Eliphas Levi described it as a magical chalice holding the astral light, a universal energy. The Rosicrucians and Freemasons incorporated Grail symbolism into their rituals, viewing it as a representation of inner enlightenment. Meanwhile, Jungian psychology reinterpreted the Grail as an archetype of the self, a goal of individuation achieved through confronting one's shadow. Third, the real Grails, archaeological claims and contested relics. Despite its mythical origins, numerous artifacts have been proposed as the real Holy Grail. Most are medieval or later, but some claim antiquity. Let's examine the leading contenders. 1. The Antioch Chalice, 6th century CE. Discovered in 1910 near Antioch, modern Turkey, this silver vessel is adorned with vine motifs and angelic figures. Early 20th century scholars speculated it might be the Grail due to its age and ornate design. However, most historians now classify it as a Byzantine church ritual object, possibly a holder for the Eucharistic bread. 2. The Holy Chalice of Valencia, 1st century CE, housed in Valencia Cathedral, Spain. This agate cup is encased in gold and adorned with 2 doves, symbolizing the dual nature of Christ. According to tradition, St. Peter brought it to Rome, and later Spanish monks smuggled it to avoid Moorish invasions. Carbon dating of its outer casing places it to the 11th century, but the inner cup may date to the 1st or 2nd century CE. While the Vatican has neither confirmed nor denied its authenticity, Pope John Paul II used it in a 1982 Mass, lending it symbolic weight. 3. The Genoa Chalice, 12th century CE, held in Genoa's San Lorenzo Cathedral. This emerald green glass vessel is said to have been brought to Italy by the Crusaders. Legends claim it was the cup of the Last Supper, later owned by Joseph of Arimathea. Scientific analysis dates it to the 10th century, making it a plausible medieval relic, but not an artifact from Christ's time. 4. The Nanteos Cup, medieval wood cup. This unassuming wooden bowl, housed in Wales, lacks historical provenance, but has accrued folklore since the 19th century. Locals claimed it possessed healing powers, and it was loaned to the sick until its disappearance in the 1950s. Its story reflects how the Grail myth persists even in objects with no verifiable history. 5. The Islamic connection. The Cup of Jamshid. Some theorists, like historian Christopher Knight, have linked the Grail to Persian mythology. The Cup of Jamshid, a magical scrying device in Zoroastrian texts, supposedly revealed all the world's knowledge. Knight argues that medieval writers conflated this artifact with the Grail, creating a syncretic symbol of divine wisdom. 4. The Grail in modern conspiracy theories. The 20th century saw the Grail become a magnet for conspiracy theories, blending history, pseudoscience, and political ideology. The Priory of Sion hoax. In the 1960s, Frenchman Pierre Plantard fabricated a secret society called the Priory of Sion, claiming it had guarded the Grail and Jesus' bloodline for centuries. His hoax, later exposed, inspired books like The Holy Blood and the Holy Grail, 1982, which posited that Mary Magdalene bore Christ's child, whose descendants, the Merovingian kings, were the true heirs of a suppressed feminine divine. Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code, 2003, popularized these ideas, though scholars dismiss them as fiction. The Nazis, obsessed with Aryan mysticism, sought the Grail to legitimize their racist ideology. Heinrich Himmler's Ahnenerbe Research Institute searched for relics tied to Germanic paganism, believing the Grail was a Teutonic artifact. Films like Raiders of the Lost Ark, 1981, fictionalized this quest, portraying the Grail as a weapon of divine power. The Grail as an alchemical symbol. In alchemy, the Grail represents the magnum opus, the transformation of base metals into gold, or the purification of the soul. The 17th century text, Chemical Wedding of Christian Rosenkreutz, describes a mystical chalice as the key to enlightenment, influencing later occult movements like Theosophy. V. The Grail in popular culture. From Camelot to the silver screen, the Grail's adaptability has made it a staple of modern storytelling. Key examples include Monty Python and the Holy Grail, 1975, a comedic take that lampoons the quest's absurdity, featuring a rabbit that kills knights and a taunting Frenchman. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, 1989. The film's climax pits Indy against a knightly guardian, emphasizing the Grail's humility. The true Grail is right in front of you. Monty Python's Spamalot, 2005. A musical parody that reimagines the Grail as a show within a show. Video games, titles like King's Quest, 1984, and Assassin's Creed Rebellion, 2018, cast players as Grail seekers, blending history and fantasy. These works reflect the Grail's versatility as a narrative device, representing everything from adventure to existential fulfillment. 6. Is the Grail real? Evaluating the evidence. To determine whether any artifact is the real Grail, we must confront two realities. Historical impossibility. The Last Supper occurred c. 33 CE. No wooden or clay cup from that era could survive intact. Even if preserved, its authenticity would be unverifiable without a direct chain of custody, a near impossible standard. Symbolic resonance. The Grail's power lies in its symbolism. As scholar Emma Jung wrote, the Grail is not a thing, but a process, a continual striving toward the divine. Whether a chalice, stone, or metaphor, it embodies humanity's yearning for transcendence. Most historians agree that the Grail began as a literary invention, later retrofitted with pseudo-histories. Claims like the Valencia Chalice rely on tradition rather than evidence, while hoaxes like the Priory of Sion reveal how myths can outlive their creators. 7. Conclusion: the Eternal Grail. The Holy Grail endures not because of its physicality, but because of its capacity to evolve. It has been a Christian relic, a feminist icon, a fascist trophy, and a pop culture gag. Its reality matters less than its role as a mirror for human aspirations and fears. Perhaps the true Grail is not an object, but an idea, a reminder that the search itself, fraught with doubt and wonder, is what defines us. As T.S. Eliot wrote in 4 quartets, "We shall not cease from exploration and know the place for the first time. In the end, the real Grail may be the journey,